So with a pencil, I'm first just drawing a border around this sheet of printer paper. This is a 67-pound regular printer paper. Then I'm just going to draw for a bit here. And here I'm having shapes, overlapping shapes, and some lines that cross over themselves and create shapes. So as I'm drawing, I'm just kind of aware of the separate areas that are created, because if this is going to be a coloring page, I want those areas to be distinct. In some cases I may take out a pre-cut shape, one that I've used before. Kind of trace around it. So I'm going to use this kind of half ladder shape. This I've used in gel printing as a mask, so it has paint on it. And that's all I'm going to do for now with pencil. I may do more detail with the marker. I'm using a Perma-Writer. I've also used Pitt pens for this, the fine nib, and I'm just going to carefully go over this whole thing with the marker. As I go over this with marker, I can make little minor changes. For example, in this shape, if I wanted to cut off that top corner a little bit, I could do that with the marker. And then, once the marker is dry, which really only takes a few seconds, I can erase the pencil mark. And by the same token, if I miss the pencil mark by mistake, I'll just pretend to do it here. Pencil mark next to the marker, then again, once that's dry, I can erase the pencil mark with the kneaded eraser. So now I have kind of the bones of the piece, and it's not all that interesting. So to make it more interesting, to me anyways, because it's mine, I'm going to emphasize some areas. So I'm going to double up this line here, see where that takes me. Okay. Another thing I can do to make more dense areas is to add pattern. So this area up here, I'm thinking, let's add something as a pattern, and I'm not sure what, so I'll just do these sort of blob shapes. And maybe I'll make this a pretty dense pattern. So the blob shapes are very close together. And each blob shape is going to be a little different. And that way, I'm really keeping my mind on it. It's not just a sort of rote repetition of the same shape. There's a little more thought to it, a little more care. And hopefully that leads to a little more interesting visual result. Okay, that looks like a peanut. That looks like a prescription pill. I'll vary the size here a little bit too. So there, I've got that pattern. I'm going to do a different pattern in another area. This is just stripes or lines. And again, I'm not making each one of them the same. I'm not following a predetermined pattern. I know it's stripes, but I'm just shifting each one a tiny little bit. And now what? I've got this open space, this open space, this open space. I want to leave some of the spaces open, but I want to have a little variation in visual density as well. So I could add a pattern to another space. All right, now like here I doubled up that line. I might do that again. See what happens. One more line I'm going to double up. It's this square one down here. I'm going to make it a little further apart than the other two. Before you color one of your pages, check out the paper that you are printing out the sheet on and see how your materials work. See if they bleed a little bit, if they stay put. See if they take water or water-soluble pencils.